For analysis on the latest US strikes on Iran, we're joined by the Middle East analyst Hameed Jabery, live from Tehran. Sir, once again, thank you for joining us here on Asia One. Mr. Jabery, Iran says that at least 38 people have been killed and over 400 injured in the latest US strikes. How is this affecting the public sentiment and the government's response within Iran?
Some anger, but despite the political differences that we have in this country, history shows that in the time of war, in the time of fighting with foreign actors, foreign countries, there are more solidarity. So the government uses this as a message of unity, as a something as a to expand its narrative for security, its narrative for standing against the United States and the foreign aggressive governments. So at the first, it definitely fueled anger among the people, but at the end, it definitely increased the solidarity among the people, the unity among the people, as I said, despite the differences that we have and despite the economic suffering.
And so Iranian officials say that casualties include women and children. How is Tehran using these reported civilian losses to strengthen its diplomatic and its political position internationally?
The Iranian ministry has always been active in pursuing the goals of international supporting for its diplomatic vision. And at this current really important time, the international representative of the Iranian government and the Iranian diplomats will definitely use this. They will raise this issue in international forums, specifically the multilateral forums, and maybe the Iranian representative in the United Nations in New York City, and some other Iranian representative around the world, as we have seen in the 40-day war and also the 12 wars last year. So the Iranian diplomatic missions, they will be definitely active to gain international support, specifically from the countries that are more friendly and the countries that are friendly to the...
With Washington and Tehran continuing military exchanges, do you see any realistic possibility of returning to negotiations in the near future?
In the short term, I'm not optimistic that there will be something like a negotiating phase or something like a compromise by these two parties. But in the immediate term, I think the efforts by the mediating countries like Qatar or maybe Pakistan again, or maybe as a new actor in mediating role, maybe we will see President Erdogan and Turkey. But in the short term, yes, I'm not optimistic about returning to the negotiating table, but in the long run or the intermediate term, there will be some compromise, there will be some negotiations, and history at least shows that when the situation get de-escalated, get escalated, you have some opportunities, some windows of threat to the Iranian government, or make some tweets threatening the Iranian government for the escalation of the war, like bombing the infrastructures or bombing the power plants and something like bridges. There are windows being open for the negotiation. So as of now, I do think that it doesn't get that much escalated in the situation that there will be no window for the negotiations. So I think like the past, like the 40 days, when sometimes you have to de-escalate, to escalate. So this is a strategy that I think Donald Trump is pursuing. He wants to de-escalate and to find some places, to find some opportunities to escalate and to finish the war, because he has faced pressure from his campaign, his MAGA team, and he has faced pressure from the government of Israel. So all in all, I think there will be some windows of the negotiation.
And Hameed, how is Iran likely to respond to these latest US strikes? Should we expect further military retaliation, or will Tehran focus more on diplomatic and strategic pressure?
I think both. The Iranian response, the same would be for as it was in the 40 days war. It will be a package of the responses, like the military response targeting the military infrastructure, military facilities of the United States in the region, and also diplomatic efforts to make more political pressure on the countries that support the United States. And in other terms, there will be some compromise by both sides, because I don't think at this situation both parties want a full-scale war. I think the U.S. strategy for now is just to make more pressure, more political, and more specifically economic pressure on the Iranian government to maybe gain some more greater concessions in the possible next negotiation table.
And so looking ahead, what are the biggest risks if the current cycle of strikes and retaliation continues, both for regional stability and also the future of US-Iran negotiations and relations?
We have seen the full-scale war during that 40 days war. We have seen the regional war that Iran attacked maybe nine countries in the regions. And also the U.S. has pursued and performed a large-scale, full-scale war against the Iran country. So this is not the risk that we will see. This will not be something new. But in terms of posing some danger things to the regional security, regional stability, I think the possible miscalculation by the military commanders of both sides, or the decision makers by both sides, will be that we will be in a situation that the non-state actors, like the Iraqi militia groups supporting Iran, and also the militia groups in Yemen and Sarullah, they will take part in the next war. And also we will maybe have we will see some targets of like desalination facilities or power plants in the region. That will disrupt definitely the energy routes and trade, global trade. So the main risk that maybe we will see if there will be no compromise, if there will be no negotiation and no efforts by the mediating countries, the situation we will face will have some danger, like striking on infrastructures and desalination facilities and power plants. First, this one, and second, the closing of Bab al-Mandab Strait. That will make more pressure on the global trade centers.
So thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.